Hey everybody, it's Mike from Orderflows, and it's Monday, September 26th, and last night, Sunday night, the British pound had a big sell-off, right? We dropped from about the 108 area down to 104. That was a pretty massive and sharp drop that happened pretty quick. And what I want to talk about today is, was there anything in the order flow that you could have seen that would have keyed you in on the move? And to be honest, this move, it was very dramatic. It was a very big move. And most likely, if you got short up here around the 108-ish area, you would have had to take profit in. Maybe you got, you covered at 107 and a half, or 107 even. You're not gonna to say, I would have sold it up here and covered it down here at 105. No, I mean, I always recommend traders use an ATM, right? You have a stop and you have a take profit, and most likely this move happened so fast, your take profit would have been hit. Even if you moved it, you would have maybe backed it off an extra 10 or 15 ticks. You're not going to drop it all the way down to, to 106 or 105 even. Be realistic. So all those traders are saying, you could have made through 300 pips out of this move. No, your take profit would have been hit because this move was pretty quick, and you would have just been happy with your take profit. Okay. And just to put this move into perspective, a couple weeks ago, I don't know if I have it on this chart. Let me adjust the data on here. Change that to 2 weeks. So I think it was around the middle of the month, around the 13th or 14th. Where was it? We had a big drop. Where are we here? 13. Yeah, here. Okay. And this is a move from basically 117.50 down to 116 even. It was right down here. We got as low as 115.61, and this was a very sharp drop. It was you're talking 200 ticks, but the move last night was double that actually. Where are we here? Again, sort of starting up in here around the 108 even, but let's take it from this break here at 107.50. 107.50 to 104. This is 104.50. Did get down to 104, but 104.50, 107.50, 300 ticks. So it was quite a dramatic move. And just sort of put down what's happened in perspective on the daily chart. I mean, this pound has been dropping all year long. I mean, just going back to the beginning of the year is right here. Our high back in January is 137, 45 basically. Now look at this, we're trading all the way down here. Pretty soon we're going to hit parity, right? I think they're going to stop calling football. They're going to call it soccer now. That's how weak the pound has been. But let's take a look at the order flow, okay? Because there are some interesting things in the order flow that were brewing, so to speak. And here's the footprint chart. So this is where, so Sunday night, again, and most traders aren't trading Forex on Sunday night. This is happening at, sort of the beginning of the Asian session. So right now, what markets are open? Australia, well, New Zealand's going to be the first major, I wouldn't call New Zealand a major financial center, but it's, on the Sunday, on the reopens, that's the first market that opens, New Zealand. I mean, they do trade, bank bills and stuff over there, but, don't, by end, it's not a major financial center. Australia will open up a little bit later, then Japan will open up. Okay, when I say Japan, it's weird. Japan's in Asia, but there's like, these Asian desks. They have a Japan desk. So it's ex-Japan, meaning everything else. So China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore. It's all lumped together except for Japan. But anyway, so Sunday night again, most traders aren't really looking at what's happening in the currencies when they reopen, unless they're really die-hard traders. So, we reopened at, around the 108. Where am I here? No, that's Friday. Here it is. We pretty much opened unchanged from Friday's session. Okay. And, we're trading around, the 108.50 area. And it's just sort of humming along. We got this first initial push down about 640, but again, nothing to get too excited about. Then we're starting to see stuff brewing in the order flow here, right? I got a bearish pound opponent control. I got stopping volume coming in 108.22 area. Now, again, Sunday nights, 6, 7 o'clock, volumes are light. Okay, bear that in mind. So even though volumes are light, we're seeing 106, 283, 128. Normally you're going to see, anything over 100 would be considered very big, but you're seeing basically between 50 and 100. But you're seeing some deltas in here, right? You're getting these big stretches of negative delta over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars. Okay, and the market starts coming down to our low of the day here at 107.95. This was the low that we made earlier. Now, as we're coming down, you can see in here, let me just make this chart a little bit bigger. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point of controls out of 8 bars at the same level. Okay, you got 2 bearish prominent point of controls. You got a bullish prominent point of control here, but the market's not going anywhere. We're sort of rotating around this 108.10 area. And you do string together a little bit of positive deltas, but small. 2, 28, 16, negative 8, plus 51, negative 4, negative 9. Nothing to get excited about. And it sort of came on the back of all this negative delta in here. Now remember, right, we had that bearish prominent point of control here. We got 2 bearish prominent point of controls appearing here. So we've got 3 bearish prominent point of controls. What are imbalances doing? Well, here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 imbalances in this bar that's got 8 price levels. So predominantly all selling imbalances. 2 selling imbalances here, 1 here, 3 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 in this bar as we're coming down into the lows. Now, as we're coming down into these lows, what do we see in the delta? Well, delta is picking up, volume is sort of picking up. I mean, you got 123 here, but what was interesting is you got minus 24 delta, then minus 32, minus 93. This is what I call the delta surge. And, I actually have a free indicator for this on my website that just highlights where you have increase in delta like this, from positive to negative to more negative to even more negative. And a bullish one would be the opposite. Because what's happening is sellers, more and more sellers are coming into the market and taking control of that market. Now, you still need the follow through order flow, right? You do want to see the market start to sell off afterwards, and you start to see it in here. Now, ideally, I'd like to see a bearish delta surge, somewhere a little bit higher, not necessarily going into the low, but you can only trade what the market gives you. If it's giving it to you going into the low, just be careful, because we know that now you can look back and say, oh yeah, that was so obvious, but oftentimes you get the increase in delta going into lows, and then it makes a new low by 5, 10 ticks, and then it reverses and starts rallying. Okay, I mean, I'd rather get short from a higher level than at the lows of the day, but again, on a market that's trending, you want to get short at the lows. Okay, if it's trending down, obviously you want to get short at the lows. So that was a couple of things there, right? You're seeing the bearish prominent point of controls, right? The point of control on this extreme indicating stopping volume. You've got 6 point of controls lined up here, so the market is forming a balance. And ideally, what you want to see is the market start to break out of balance and what direction it's going. We know it's going down. We got more selling imbalances coming in. We're seeing the sellers get stronger here in terms of delta, negative 24, negative 32, negative 93. And, this is something that one of the early forms of analysis I did on delta was many years ago when I used to trade palm oil, and it'd be very boring markets. It'd just be like this from here to here, right? And I would just look for where buyers or sellers are starting to come in before the markets move. And that's how I saw what a delta surge was. I don't want to say I invented it, but I'm the one that coined the term. I was the only one using it for many years. And it's available, again, it's free on my website if you use NinjaTrader 8. And again, it's a nice thing to look for, but you still need to confirm it with the delta. So obviously the market started selling off. Okay, 108, we broke, 107.95, started coming down, boom, big bar down. Finally, we got the break from 107.79 down to 54. Okay, then what happens? We go inside of this bar. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. And when you start going inside of a bar, then you got to start looking for more breakouts, either to the downside or to the upside of this bar that everything's inside. Because once you got that big push down, the big wide-ranging bar, then the next bar goes inside. I know that generally you're going to see the market sort of rotate around. It's going to go sideways. and then I got to look for the next breakout, and then it comes down here. So all you got to do, take advantage of this, is you just put a sell stop down here around 53 at the new lows, or you put a buy stop up here at 80 in case it sort of starts rallying back up and recovering everything. And then finally it breaks through again. Now look at this. Okay, so earlier, I'm not going to show you where price was. You have this period from 720 to 728, all negative delta. Then you get this period from 736 to 741, all negative delta. You got the one positive here, but then again, from 743, all the way here to 751, all negative delta. So sellers are obviously in control, right? It bounces again here, doesn't build on it, doesn't get out of this high or this low. All you gotta do is just bracket it. Okay, are we going to bounce back up above 37, or are we going to break below 15? As you're coming down into the low, you got a nice aggressive selling in here. You got a nice stacked imbalance. It's 5 levels deep. 5, 45, 37, 24, 42. And the market, again, wide-ranging bar down, right? Again, it's a move from 107.22 down to 106.82. That's a wide-ranging bar, right? It's covering a lot of ground. It's covering, what is that, about 40 ticks, okay? Then the next bar goes inside. Next bar goes inside. Okay, I'm expecting this market to go sideways just as it had over the last 2 drops. So I'm just going to put a buy stop up there around 23, sell stop around 80. Next bar later, boom, it just breaks 80, and that's it. It's just no looking back. I mean, it just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. So, and again, you could look at the delta again. You got another delta surge growing in here. It's positive 48, minus 34, minus 73, minus 111. That's when it was still trading way up in here, right? Here, 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 this bar. So again, all you gotta do is just get ready to be shorting it around, 15 new lows, 10, 5, whatever, 107 even. And finally you get that big breaking bar here where stops just get triggered, and it's just look out below, and we just drop in that 1 minute from what was that, 106.91 down to 105, I think 86, 82 here. So, a nice 100-point move in one bar. Okay, but again, most likely you wouldn't have caught all 100 ticks, because you'd place your order to get in, and then your ATM is going to kick off. Maybe you got a 25 tick take profit, 30 tick take profit, and it's going to get filled, within a few seconds. So you're happy. You made your profit. You don't kick yourself like, oh, I got short at 106.75 and I only covered it at 40 when I could have covered it down here at 105.80. No, you start messing around with your take profits and stuff like that, you end up screwing yourself. So anyway, guys, that was what was interesting on this move down in the British pound. It's funny because British pound has recovered a lot of it already today. Just go back to let's go back to a 5-minute chart. So this was that move down, but you can see we rallied back above. We made new highs actually of the day up here at 109.31. We're sort of settled in at this 106.85-ish area, sort of going sideways in here. But yeah, I mean there was some bearish things happening in the order flow before that big drop. So anyway, guys, I hope you appreciate this video. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to put out videos on a fairly consistent basis now. So enjoy and happy trading. Bye-bye.